Welcome back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML. I'm your host, Gibular Bob. Welcome back to the EU side of the league here. Wonderful matchup we have planned today. AESIR EU versus SunsetRavens. The number 1 versus the number 3. And I'm excited to see who is going to walk away as the champion of this match, because it very well could shake up what has been quite an interesting season in the EU. I think EU is a league that, or a part of the league that is often slept on by a lot of people, but you certainly get some incredible matchups here. And I mean, we're taking a look at two of the best teams in this part of the league. SunsetRavens 5-1. That means they've won 5 games. They've lost 2 games, and they've tied 1 game. Meanwhile, AESIR EU continuing up the trend of their NA counterpart with a 8-0 undefeated record, and they are absolutely on top of their branch of the league right now. Best map for SunsetRavens is Skyscraper. They played 26 rounds there, and they've won 81% of those. That's a very, very good number to have for Skyscraper. And over on AESIR EU, their best map, Dam, where they played 24 rounds, and they've won 88% of those rounds. So very consistent teams, much like the NA counterpart. AESIR EU does not have a map where they have won less than 60% of their rounds. You're looking at 88%, 82%, 74%, 68%. And even on their technically worst performing map, provided by our statistics here, Arctic, they played 23 rounds and they've won 61% of those rounds. Now I'm just waiting for the server to go up. Not quite sure where it went. I think it actually went under a different name. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, apologies. Just giving the teams the go-ahead to start the matchup whenever everybody's in the lobby and ready to go. But currently, over in the lobby, we do have Rise, Mr. Tabs, also known as Mr. Frags, Gradma, and Akira. And currently on the SR team, we have Adam, Terrence, number 1, and Dissender. As we wait for the rest of the team, VR Zeta connects for AESIR. VR Zeta, kind of I would say, long-time rival of AESIR EU. They used to be on Blaze EU in Season 1. And towards the start of Season 2, and Blaze EU, pretty strong team in the EU region, and had a couple of run-ins with AESIR EU, which I think at that point was known as Revolt. I don't know. There's a complicated history for the top teams in the EU. Quite a few restructures and teams disappearing and then coming back. And actually, AESIR EU, little history lesson about them. They came back as Revolt RVL, and then they rebranded to Fire when they picked up a couple of new teammates. And then, shortly after becoming Fire for a few weeks, maybe like a week or two into the season, they were picked up by AESIR and became known as AESIR EU. And AESIR EU, they've had a really kind of a unfortunate record in Season 2, because they made it all the way to the end where they got into the postseason, and then in the semifinals to determine who would be playing IV in the final game, they lost to a powerful Ragnarok stack, and it was probably the upset of the season for everybody watching. And AESIR EU, They were promising, but they were kicked out of the postseason, I think, a lot earlier than they'd like. They were just at the EU LAN a week or two ago, where they beat IV, who was the Season 2 champion. And with IV, I think, electing to not participate in the rest of this season, I'm not sure if that is their choice or if they're currently finding a new roster of players. But with that, we may see AESIR EU finally bring in that Season 3 championship. They've certainly worked very hard. And again, 8-0 record that they've just dominated this season so far. So, all right, I want to address the elephant in the room in the chat. We already know SR is losing. SunsetRavens is cooked. No, I would not say that SunsetRavens is cooked. We have to have some faith here in SunsetRavens. They have had a couple of tough matchups, and I think if they can play their cards right here, they will absolutely be able to put up a great and fantastic fight against AESIR EU. First map is going to be Hideout. And that is AESIR EU's second best performing map. They've played one more round on it than SunsetRavens has, but their winning percentage is much higher. So it's all going to fall down to SunsetRavens' ability to cut off some early pace and momentum from AESIR EU. They're going to be confident. This is a map they know very, very well. It's really going to fall to who has the better aggression, I would say. I think we're going to see some great aggression from AESIR EU because that's really the way that the top teams play, and they've, I imagine, borrowed some of that strategy from the NA AESIR that's really kind of figured it out in terms of the way to play competitive breaches. I mean, can't complain much with AESIR NA's record. They won preseason, Season 1, Season 2 at VRML Con 2024 this year, and so if there was ever a way to play, you definitely want to play like that AESIR team. But AESIR EU is composed of some of the best EU players. SunsetRavens, though, I have confidence in them. I've seen them play extraordinarily well against Cheeky Breach, an upset that they pulled off earlier in the season. And I think if they can play like that, they absolutely have the potential to win this challenge, this series. Revolt and Fire / AESIR EU are different teams, by the way. It was Velocity with a few Blaze players who became Fire. Revolt was the team who came back from Season 0 with other... Yeah, I appreciate the correction there, Jacob. It's just... it's complicated. There's a deep lore to the EU and NA side of the Breachers VRML. And we have everybody in the lobby. I don't know who we're waiting on to show up. But currently on AESIR EU, we have Rise, Grabma, Mr. Tab, Zakira, and VRZida. And over on SunsetRavens, Adam, Terrence, number 1, Dissender, Mac, and Mike D10. And we're going to go ahead and let me give the... see if the teams are going to start it up, and they are. I didn't even have to say a single thing as we get ready to head into our first map of this matchup, which is going to be Hideout. It's a great day for an EU matchup and the number 1 team versus the number 3 team here. We'll see if SunsetRavens can pull off that upset just like they pulled one off against Cheeky Breach. But already, seeing Mike D10 has disconnected from the lobby, and that's not an ideal way to start off. Maybe we can see that connection come back in, and SunsetRavens won't have to start with 4 players. They will have the opportunity, if Mike D10 connects, to stay as bot Jonathan. And let me go ahead, flop the teams as we get started with round number 1, and hopefully bot Jonathan does not get themselves killed, but they're in a pretty defensive position, so I'm confident that they'll be able to stay alive long enough for Mike D10 to reconnect. 2 minutes 10 on the clock. AESIR looking to play on the door. There goes the wall open into Jim, and it's a 2-prong coming from the garage hatch, and this is a pretty common habit for AESIR EU. They love to take space very quickly, and there's a frag grenade toss. Mr. Tabs with great movement, able to avoid that. Narrowly missed by Terrence number 1. Adam sitting over in the 4 right now, and Mac in the back of the room. The wall is open. We see immediate 2 picks from AESIR EU, and VRML dropping a double kill as the EMP is getting planted by AESIR. But Jonathan picking up Mr. Tabs, holding down the fort. But unfortunately for SunsetRavens, Mike D10 wasn't able to reconnect fast enough, and with 4 players alive, AESIR EU taking round number 1 here of Hideout. And, well, I know there's going to be people saying, oh, you know, they're cooked, SunsetRavens. So don't count them out yet, all right? I have faith that SunsetRavens is going to be able to keep a hold of this. I believe it's the middle floor site that is the best one for defense. So could it have been just the lack of that 5th player? I don't know, but hopefully they're not going to be running with 4 players for the entire matchup, and Mike D10 will be able to reconnect, or at the very least one of their other players will be able to connect, because you really don't want to go up against the number 1 team if you have only 4 players. And maybe consider picking up a league sub or something of the sort. As bot Jonathan is killed early, they don't anticipate Mike to reconnect, and they're going to go and pick up that Omen. Now, here's the power play from AESIR EU. They've picked up 2 Vezins early in this first half, and they're going to look to make excellent use of those rifles. Only response SunsetRavens has to that is the Omen. And a frag grenade toss, but doesn't quite find any damage onto AESIR. There's the breaching foam onto the A wall. Minute 50 on the clock. Gradma looking to bring it around to the door and baits out some shots from Dissender. Frag toss in the back of the room, and AESIR's looking the wrong way. 2 picks fall into the hands of SunsetRavens, and it's actually a 3 versus 3, but both rifle players are still up. And here comes the challenge for AESIR. That's the Ensign. He's going to block off anybody who's trying to push onto that EMP and deny the plan, and Gradma finds the kill onto Terrence. Rise takes out Mac, and it's now just down to Adam alone with that Omen. Are they going to be able to find the kill onto VRML here? They're in a tough spot, and they're about to get swung, and they do get swung by VRML to make it a quick 2-0 game. And still, SunsetRavens are lacking one of their players. They just haven't been able to get Mike or any other member of their team to reconnect. And this is a pivotal round for SunsetRavens. This is their opportunity to buy in some rifles to some util. You just have to wonder, maybe get that league sub in there. V5. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Oh, there we go. Mike D10 has reconnected at just the right time for SunsetRavens. It's going to look to buy some supporting util for the rest of their team. I only have 10 seconds to work with here, but That should be enough to get some heals, and Mike's going to pick up a Taurus as well. And shout out to Mike D10. They released, I believe it's the Advanced Hideout Guide for Breachers. And if you're looking at how to step up your hideout game, check that video out. It's an extremely well-constructed video. I do highly recommend watching. And look at that, Mr. Tabs on the charge. Dissender finds one, does get refragged by Gradmaz. We're already into a 4 versus 2. Mike D10 playing center. Mac finds the kill onto Rise, making use of that Omen, and it's now a 3 versus 2. And if Mike can click some heads here, they may be able to make it work, but VRML quick to shut down any hopes of that happening. And it's now just down to Mac. And if you're Mac here, what do? You got an Omen. No other kind of utilities, so there's not a whole lot of reason to save here. And they're moving quite quickly, and yeah, the audio keeps giving off by that, and VRML on fire today. With a fantastic round, a couple of rounds there. It's the second time in a row they've gotten the round-winning kill. And the response is just not here yet from SunsetRavens. Now, Mike, having that 5th player in there really did help. Buying some extra util. They did kill off a few of those AESIR EU players, but they're going to be in trouble because they only have 1 Vezin up and 4 Omens. And there's some util in their pockets as well. But, I mean, AESIR is just stacked with cash. 5 Vezins, 4 heals. With pretty much an entire hospital on their team right now. And, I mean, when you have sheer numbers of utility like AESIR EU has, it's hard to get momentum back if you're that defensive team. We'll see if SR can manage to do that. But for now, we are going to get started with round number 4. Mac playing up close to the door, looking to get maybe an early pick. We did see Dissender play a similar angle last time we were on this site combination. And the important thing here for SR is to find some picks and try and prevent AESIR from carrying some of these pieces of utility over to the next round. And Mac, with a spring, does find Mr. Tabs. But Akira's quick to catch that refrag, and Dissender stuck in the fire. Frag will be tossed, but it doesn't quite work the way that SunsetRavens have intended. Dissender now playing close up to the door, and that fire has just been such a pain, preventing any kind of swing. And Dissender's about to be caught, and they swing out, but Gradma quick to shut that down and get that EMP planted, and they do not have position advantage over here on SunsetRavens. They're going to have to swing. Terrence goes down to VRML, who drops yet another kill. But they get caught in the trip mine, and Mike D10 rushes, and funny little ragdoll there, but unfortunately for SunsetRavens, they did work down the board quite a bit, but it still wasn't enough to get a round win over AESIR EU. And now they do have 4 Vezins up, but we're into a 4-0 game. Let's see that replay there. I mean, this was a good swing from Mac. Did end up resulting in their refrag, but they did take out a Vezin early in that round. And we do have Rise. Is Rise acting like a bot, or is that actually a bot? Oh no, it is a bot. Okay, we did see the captain of AESIR EU disconnected as we have bot Sarah in. And that's unfortunate. Hopefully we can get Rise to reconnect. And AESIR won't have to... Oh no, and Sarah made a beeline for the EMP. Hurry, Rise. Hurry back. They may have to team kill the bot here. Yeah, they're going to have to. And it's unfortunate for AESIR because that bad connection... or excuse me, the disconnection from Rise. And they just get back a little bit too late. And they had to kill the bot because otherwise it would have run in and dropped the EMP. in an area that AESIR had no presence in. We're going to see Terrence. Terrence is going to go for a very cheeky little pick here. We're going to see if they can make use of that. There is reaching foam on the wall. Terrence still sitting in punching bag and pushes up, but Mr. Tabs finds that kill. And Akira has silently made their way into storage. And they may catch a pick here onto Mac, or Mac might catch a pick onto them. I don't know if Mac quite saw Akira there. But with a minute and a half on the clock, here comes the drop from AESIR, VRML, and Grandma. Bringing up the flank there, Akira with that cloaking device, looking to make use of that decreased perception. And there's a quick double from Adam, who's going to look to hold down the fort. Maybe find a triple in the back of storage. It doesn't happen, though. And it's now a 2 versus 1. And Grandma is alone. They catch one. Oh, but not quite. As Dissender finds the first round there for SunsetRavens. And good teamwork there. Mike and Dissender played off of each other very, very well. And managed to stay in this game against AESIR. It certainly took quite some time. And I wonder if they just had that fifth up when the round started. If Rise was there, potentially that round could have fallen in the hands of AESIR. But crucially for SR, they are going to be heading into the second half with at least one round. They could make it a 4-2. That would be best case scenario for them right now, and that would certainly give them padding if they had a really good offense. Best case for AESIR, only that 5-1. The first half lockout is off the table. And here we go, into the halftime round, and we'll see which team walks out with the better outcome. And little F-tier frag there doesn't quite go where they want it to, and here comes the drone scouting out. That's going to get plenty of intel on Mike D10, and it's going to force them out of the room. They do manage to take out the drone, but immediately taking space over here. Good area presence, and Grandma picks up quite a bit of damage. Akira picks up quite a bit of damage, but Mr. Tabs will find Adam through the wall. There's the breaching foam. Mike D10 picks up a bit of a heal from their teammates. Rise on the flank, watching Mac on the flank. We'll see who walks out of there as the true winner. Minute 40 now. There's still plenty of time for SR. Flashing in the back of the room. Perfect flash as he gets 3 of those SR players. Mike D10 picking up a bit of damage from Garage, and they go down to Mr. Tabs. And we do see Terrence #1 in the back of Pantry right now. Mr. Tabs is going to look to go in and get some space here. Oh, they walk right in their frag, and Terrence, yeah, is going to capitalize off of that mistake using the Cadillo to net that kill. VRML catching some damage, and we're seeing some hesitation here from AESIR EU that's costing them some momentum in this round. They do still have the numbers advantage as Rise takes out Mac. The flank is shut down. Akira team killing VRML. And with only 1 minute left on the clock, perhaps SunsetRavens can find some pace here against AESIR EU, and Terrence is looking. They toss that smoke. Rise finds one, and it's now that 1v1. Can Dissender clutch up here with the win against AESIR EU to make it 4-2 into the second half? It's all coming down to this, and Rise is going to look for an aggressive rotation here. I wonder if Dissender... Oh, wait, the EMP has not been planted. So you know who the person with the advantage is here? It's Dissender. And all they need to do is just stall. If they can survive for 15 seconds... Oh, no, but they're making a lot of noise here. This is just not the way to play this, and Rise is going to catch them. I'm not quite sure what the what the intention was there from Dissender, but very well played by Rise. When you're in that 1v1 and you don't have intel on your opponent, really, I mean, the first one to make unnecessary noise is going to and give themselves away is probably going to lose that duel. And Dissender just got a little bit way too aggressive there. And it unfortunately cost them what could have been a 4-2 game heading in the second half. So now there's a lot of work for SR to do. Can they bring it back? Yes. Will it be difficult? Also, yes. But there's potential. And here we go, starting off with round number 7 in this AESIR EU versus SunsetRavens matchup. Drone moving out from Mike D10 is SR going to look to bring in a pistol round. That would be certainly be a nice way to start off this second half. Mike D10 with an incendiary, and that's going to route Akira and force them to play up. And they're catching quite a bit of damage in the fire there. There's the wall open. Adam is taken out by VRML, who was caught in a rotation, but they managed to make that work. And here comes a push from Akira as they find Juan, and they're going to take out Mike D10. But no, Dissender was watching that crossfire and is going to look for Rise now. We're into a 3 versus 3. Terrence, number 1, has taken some space and is playing off of the wall in storage. May find a pick here. Rise picked up a bit of damage through that wall. Here comes the foam. And will SunsetRavens be able to find this round against AESIR? Terrence, number 1, hanging out in the back. There's a frag tossed into fort. And Dissender hesitating a little bit to get that EMP planted, but 2 quick kills fall in the hands of SunsetRavens. It's in a 1v2. And Dissender taking out VRML to make it 5-2. And SunsetRavens are bringing it back as they take an early pistol round against AESIR. And if they pick up some Vezins here, they may be able to turn this around and turn this into a 5-3 game. And what does AESIR have in response? Mr. Tabs and Grabma both super ecoing, making use of the Jesper. Rise and Akira on a normal eco with 2 Spectrals, and there's VRML picking up that Omen. We're seeing a lot more use out of that Omen on eco rounds, particularly because of its effectiveness at bursting down opponents quickly. If you can catch a Vezin off guard, you might be able to get a kill with that Omen. It's not a surefire solution, and it could, not be put to use, but it does still have potential over on AESIR to find them a kill. And if they can drop one of those Vezins early in the round, or at least at some point, and recover it, well, then SunsetRavens is going to be in quite a bit of trouble. VRML takes out the drone. Akira with the flash as Mike D10 finds the kill on a Mr. Tabs. There's another flash tossed in the garage, and VRML is completely blinded. And it's going to look for Mac and almost finds Mac, but there's a flank. And a quick triple kill from SunsetRavens puts us in a 1 versus 4. And Akira's going to be caught out here with nowhere to go. And Dissender finds that kill to make it a 5 versus 3. This is the SunsetRavens that I know. Very, very effective teamwork and coordination there. And gotta wonder, maybe they're much better on their offensive half. At the very least, that's what it's looking like right now. They seem very coordinated. They know what each other is doing. They're playing very, very well off of their teammates. And with 4 Vezins in their possession now, and Mac has plenty of money to buy. Whoa, they're going to go for it. They're going to go for that 5 stack of Vezins. Meanwhile, AESIR has to be content with 3. And they have that Spectral and Omen. So here's the thing. If you're SR, you want to stick together once again. Because if you lose one of your players, you know that AESIR U is going to try and harvest that Vezin, give it to one of their players that doesn't have the rifle. And will that happen? We'll certainly find out. AESIR EU only needs 1 round to make it a 6-3 game and earn match point for themselves and at least secure a tie. SunsetRavens still has quite a bit of work to do. If they lose 2 rounds, they're going to completely lose this first match against AESIR EU. There goes the wall open into Jim as VRML playing in the back of storage right now, up on the box, and that incendiary not going to bother them too much as some utility is tossed between the two sides, and SunsetRavens completely avoiding any damage from the explosions there. VRML finding the kill on a Mac using that Omen. Rise takes out Terrence. 2 picks given up immediately in this round to AESIR EU. VRML does go down as SR looking to take some space and control storage. Mr. Tabs was right in the back though. Oh, they almost got caught by Adam, but a frag tossed in response. Dissenter drops down through that hatch, and Mr. Tabs is going to look for that kill. They find it. And they're going to look for a second, but it doesn't happen. And Mike D10 will find that instead. Rise now playing up in court as it is a 3 versus 2. In what has been a bit of a half-buy round from AESIR. They're quickly turning it around, but Mike D10 finds the kill on a Rise. Not content on keeping at that score deficit from AESIR EU. But here's the push and a collateral from Adam to give this round to SR. Lined it up and just perfectly executed through both of those heads. Fantastic work from SunsetRavens. They're now just 1 round off of tying up this matchup. And I think everybody who said SR is cooked is starting to regret that a little bit. Definitely don't discount SunsetRavens because they have moments like this where they just start playing really, really well, and looks like offense was the key. Switching sides, refreshing the economies, and they found that early momentum, and they're going to look to make use of it and continue and potentially secure map 1 entirely. It's possible. It's still anybody's game at this point. And the hatch has been opened above bedroom. Rise, VRML looking to play at an aggressive angle here. VRML looking to make use of that Vezin, the only player on AESIR EU to start with a Vezin this round. See some Jesper fires. Dissender is going to look for a pick on maybe VRML or Mr. Taz, but everybody's just rotating further back in the site to get to the safer angle. Only 1:50 on the clock, and here comes the push from SR as they establish into the upper family room balcony, excuse me. Just 1:40 on the clock. We do see Akira downstairs. Terrence on the flank watch. And Akira's got to be careful here because they may just end up walking right into that cloaking device. Oh my goodness, you can't even see Terrence at all. Akira might get caught here. They will get caught. Very nice flank watch there. And Mike D10, meanwhile, is upstairs planting that EMP, and they're stuck perfectly in the corner, sealed away by fires. They toss their entire kit out to their friends, and they go down to an S-tier frag from Mr. Tabs, Mr. Frags. And they throw the Vezin out, forcing AESIR to not be able to recover that Vezin unless they put themselves in a tough angle, and with nobody watching, they are going to recover that. Oh no, Dissenter was watching. Look at the quick 1-2 punch as they completely shut down any hopes of AESIR EU going for that win, and Terrence finds the kill onto Gradma to tie up the game. And there is potential here for SunsetRavens to walk away as the winners of this map. We do see big buy-in this time from AESIR. They're going to go for 5 Vezins. Are they going to buy themselves any utility? It looks like they're going to play a bit of an... they're gonna really spend a lot of money here. They're gonna go for this win and try and secure that tie, which is smart. But this is going to be close. If either team wins, they're going to secure a match point, and then they can pursue the following round, round 12, for a potential map win. Bob, I'm eating my words. Yes, you are, Dark Raven, but it's okay. It's okay. Welcome to the club. I do that all of the time here. It's something that I'm very used to doing as a VRML caster, and well, we'll see. You know what? The round's not over yet, so you might not have to eat your words so far. But for everybody who thought that this was going to be a matchup that wasn't even going to be close at all, I mean, this just goes to show this is the number 3 EU team. I've taken out the likes of Cheeky Breachy. Frag tossed in the back of the arcade, and Dissender pushing up with another flash. Excellent usage of those, by the way. Mr. Tabs is going to look to get aggressive here, and an Incendiary is going to cut off any kind of rotation from AESIR into the wine cellar. And it's going to be that A push, unless we might see a full-on switch-up. Terrence finding the kill onto Mr. Tabs. Mike D10 and Dissender both in wine cellar. And here comes that drone, a belated drone from Mike D10, and it's going to go down, but it does give them some intel that they need on Akira. VRZito watching the end of the hallway, but they're caught by Terrence number 1. And look at this, Adam has made their way into Site A. Mike D10 finding the kill onto Akira. And it's now a 3 versus 2. There goes one wall. It's been opened up. As long as they play this together and they play it smart, they may be able to get in here and secure this 6th round. Less than a minute on the clock. It's just down to Gradma and Rise. Gradma's going to have to play back in the boiler room, which is going to give up some of the site position. And it's creating some blind spots. Rise playing up in bar might get caught here by Terrence number 1 because Gradma isn't able to push up. And it's just a tough game of angles here. Terrence finds one. Terrence dropping the 2nd kill. And everyone doubted them, but there's no denying that SunsetRavens have secured match point here on map number 1 against AESIR EU. And that one round has made such a difference. It prevented them. It would have prevented them from securing a potential map win here in AESIR. Down in weapons, down in utility. They don't have the money that they need. They were giving the AESIR a chance. So whether, I mean, they've certainly, they have flipped the switch here in this matchup. They played very, very well. So maybe that's what they were doing. They waited to show AESIR their real power. We could potentially see an upset here on map number 1. What it's going to come down to is SunsetRavens sticking together as a team once again, not giving up unnecessary picks. You have match point or map point. You don't want to get too aggressive. Just play as you have been. Don't get greedy. You know that they don't have a Vezin here, but AESIR is still a threat either way. SMGs can still get kills, and once again, we're seeing some flashes tossed in, and I got to say, that's something that we've seen a lot of use from SunsetRavens. Cutting off the opponent's sight for a few seconds, it routes them out of rooms and blinds them. Potentially opens them up to getting picked off. Akira playing up close to the door. Sunset Ravens is being thorough here. Mike D10. Oh my goodness, taking out Akira, who swung at exactly the wrong time. And with a 4 versus 5 up, there goes the wall. It's been opened up. Mr. Tabs, VRML pushing up. And the frag is ready. Mike D10 looking to get that planted, and there's not enough time, and they go down. S-tier frag from Rise, but Disinter responds with an S-tier frag of their own. 4 versus 3 now. No Vezins. Able to be recovered by AESIR. There goes the EMP. It's down. Mr. Tabs over in the shower right now. Less than a minute on the clock, and Terrence is going to look for that EMP to get planted, and they do not have any kind of utility to force them off. There goes the EMP. It's down, and Terrence takes out one as they leave. And it's now just a 2 versus 4. Terrence dropping a second kill. They're going to look for that final one onto Gradma. Is it curtains here for AESIR EU? The EMP is planted, and Gradma, in order to win this, has to take out all 4 of these Sunset Ravens players and then defuse the EMP on top of it. They're going to look to play up towards the middle of site. But Terrence was there, and they shut him down. And it is a 7-5 map win for Sunset Ravens. They are locked in. All of the doubters in the chat that didn't believe they would be able to take a map, and they have. The only cooking that Sunset Raven is doing is going to be against AESIR. I don't know where I was going with that. But, yeah. So, fantastic start to this matchup for Sunset Ravens. They were down Mike D10 for like the first 2 or 3 rounds of this series, and they managed to completely turn things around on the offense. And what is it? Somebody called it in the chat. The 5-1 curse. We haven't seen it appear in quite some time, but we did see it today, and looks like, I wonder, we may get a timeout or a rehost. But we'll see. What a fantastic showing from Sunset Ravens. To be fair, Hideout is probably one of their worst maps from my experience. Well, if you're saying for AESIR EU, it's not. I was pretty surprised because AESIR EU, that's their second best performing map, and it's their third best for Sunset Ravens. But what a shock, as AESIR EU is probably going to look to take a quick timeout. Let me see if I can get in touch with one of the captains. We may cut over to just a short little break here while we wait. Yes, there is a timeout called. And so we will cut away to a small little ad break as the teams currently prepare themselves for the next map. But do not go away, because this is already off to a fantastic start. And, well, I only think it's going to get even better. We'll be right back.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now, dance. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna turn around, dance, 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 dance. I just wanna clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna
J like the letter, I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made a splash, now all of my passes last like running a race with Usain. I keep it coming like this is buffet. And if I'm stumbling, I'm in the graves. Never gon' fumble it. I get the bag and I run with it, gunning it, gunning it, gunning it, gunning it. Hurry with the legs, all about finesse. I am not impressed. I don't need a rest, coming in with less, then you see the flags. Elohim with the melody, and then he supply the bread. 70, keep it heavenly, everybody get the bread.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello? Mom, not right now. I'm gaming with the boys, okay? I'll call you later.
And just want to take some time during our little intermission here as we wait for the teams to come back to thank the sponsors that make the Breachers VRML possible. Starting off with Triangle Factory, the developers of Breachers that contribute to our season prize pool every single season. In addition to that, you can also find custom VRML banners in the in-game lobby. You can also buy a VRML gun skin in Breachers for only 100 credits. And of course, we do have our exclusive Season 1 and Season 2 finalist skins granted to every team in the top 8, except for, I believe it was the top 3 for APAC. But big thank you to Triangle Factory for their continued support for Breachers. And if you check out their Discord, they just leaked a brand new, or teased a brand new image for their next map that they're adding. So it's been fun to see some speculation into that, and check that out and let us know what you think the next map is going to be in the comments or the chat, whichever one. Also, big thank you to HyperX. You can try the Quadcast 2 mic for crystal clear sound, or the Ally Origin 75 wireless keyboard for pro level play, or the Vision S for immersive visuals. Whatever you want, level up your setup with HyperX. I actually use a HyperX keyboard and a HyperX mousepad for my setup. And if you're interested in getting some exclusive discounts, you can use code HXVRML23 to get 15% off MRSP off of fully priced HyperX products in North America. So big thank you to HyperX as well. Also, shout out to Pro2 VR, which provides the best VR rifle mounts and accessories. Help stabilize your aim in-game by picking up a mag tube stock. Put your controllers into cups that magnetically connect to a fully adjustable stock. Or, if you want to add to the immersion, you can check out the Force Tube with haptic feedback to enhance any virtual shooting experience. And finally, Exclaim, which offers a variety of awesome custom VRML merch. We're joining forces with Exclaim because they enable teams to set up their very own merch sourcing. Quite a few teams already have used Exclaim to do so. Sell your team's gear through Exclaim and tap into a whole new level of fan engagement. Plus, if you're interested in an exclusive store-wide discount while supporting the league, consider affiliating with the VRML via Exclaim. That's going to do it for our sponsors, and we will head back to the intermission as we wait for the teams to get ready and situated for our next map. But don't go away, because once again, we will be right back. And welcome back to the Breachers VRML. After a short little 10-minute break, we are back and getting ready for map number 2 in this exciting series between AESIR EU and SunsetRavens. If you're just joining us, map number 1, fantastic effort from both teams, but SunsetRavens pull off a little bit of an upset and take map 1. Can they ride this momentum all the way into a second map and shut out AESIR EU? Is that even possible? Is that something that could happen? Well, we'll find out certainly very, very soon. And we have gotten our 10th to connect to the lobby. Let's take a quick look. This next map is going to be Factory. That's SunsetRavens' second best performing map behind Skyscraper, and it's AESIR U's 4th. But AESIR U has won 68% of the rounds that they played here anyway. So again, that's good data to go off of. And SunsetRavens, they've won 60% of the rounds that they've played here. So really could go either way. Once again, remember that map 1 was Hideout, and SunsetRavens had a 50% of their rounds won there, and well, they actually took that map from AESIR U. So statistics have proven to be a little bit useless in this matchup because we saw a major upset from SunsetRavens, and you can see some of the fantastic match clips that we've had so far. Make this a little bit bigger for you, but some of the best plays that we saw here on Hideout, and tremendous effort from both teams. But in any case, we are going to go ahead and get started in the second map of this series, which is taking place over on Factory. Bit of a change here This time, AESIR EU has elected to bring in Ran 6 instead of Akira. Changing out some of their players a little bit, and they are going to look to change some pace, see if they can make something stick here against SunsetRavens, and they're starting back on offense once again. Going to look to try and lock out SR in the first half. Remember that SR performed tremendously on offense, so they're probably opting to stick with defense and get the harder side out of the way first. But every round is going to count for both of these teams. If last map was anything to go off of as we get started here on map number 2 in AESIR EU versus SunsetRavens, and SR does have the potential to end things quickly in 2 rounds, with 2 maps. Dissender is looking for VRML, and they're going to swing out, and 2 trades from both sides. As Mr. Tabs finds the kill onto Mac. Terrence is caught by Rise. This is a good start here for AESIR EU. Mike hanging out in the back of site A as Adam catches 1 and 2 before getting refragged. And Mike is in a bit of a tricky situation here, in a 1 versus 2, as the cubby wall has been opened up. They're going to toss an Incendiary, but it's a switch up from AESIR as Mr. Tabs' foot is caught, and it's now just down to Ran 6 in a 1 versus 1 against Mike D10. It's all coming down to this moment. Oh, and Ran 6 probably saw the arm of Mike, and Mike swinging out. What a clutch from this SunsetRavens team as Mike D10 keeps them strong in this matchup, and they find their first round here against AESIR EU. We're going to have to see a solid defense here from SunsetRavens if they want to hope to stay in this fight against AESIR EU. I don't know if their offense is going to be as strong here as it was on Hideout, but certainly you just want to keep that momentum up. You just want momentum. AESIR is crazy though. It is. it's speaking from experience. I've delved into the team game a little bit this season. It's hard to go undefeated each week, and it's not an easy feat to do. And AESIR, you are not going to be keen to just give up and let SunsetRavens ruin that perfect record and put a little blemish on it. So we'll see if AESIR EU can lock in here and maybe pull ahead if they want to if they want to keep that perfect season up right now. Well, they're going to have to win this map and then the next map. There we go on. Alternatively, we could see a tie in the series if it gets to that point, but so far, SR taking early momentum once again, and Terrence, oh my goodness, what a run out. How are they getting away with this over on SR, and Terrence is long gone already, Ran 6. It's too late. You can't save them. In any case, 2 minutes on the clock as we start off round number 2. Look at this fragmented push here from AESIR. I wonder if this is going to come back to haunt them at all. But Mr. Tabs is making their way through assembly right now and may try and look to catch Terrence, who is running around downstairs. I wonder if they gave off some audio cue. It doesn't look like they did. And Mr. Tabs is looking to set up a little pinch here. They do not have breaching foam, but they're going to go through control room and catch Adam off guard here. There are 2 Vezins up in the hands of SunsetRavens, and Mr. Tabs is going to spring the trap here on Adam. Will it be enough to take out a Vezin, though? That I don't know. Mr. Tabs getting ready to spring that trap, and we're probably going to wait to see that wall blown up, and Adam, oh my goodness, Dissender saving their teammate, but at what cost? It cost them their life, but at the very least, Mr. Tabs did not secure a Vezin. Frag, grenade, toss, and bit of an F-tier frag. Didn't really go where they wanted to. Ran 6 is caught by Dissender. Gradma looking for one, and the formation is once again broken over on AESIR, and they're struggling to push somebody in the site and get that EMP planted. 40 seconds on the clock. It's a bit of a super eco round for AESIR here, but you're going to have to look for at least maybe 1 or 2 more picks to really say you got the maximum value out of this eco round. They're going to try and push 2 players in with Jespers, but Mag is waiting to assassinate Rise. Oh my goodness, Mike finds one. Mike dropping a double kill to make it a 2-0 game for SunsetRavens. And what an effort it's been so far. I mean, they are on fire here. They just cannot be stopped. And I don't think this is what the connoisseurs had in mind. If I can take a look here. Yeah, it was 37-3 in favor of AESIR EU. This is the kind of thing that puts a big smile on my face because, well, I do love to see upsets like this in the regular season, and it would certainly make for a really exciting conclusion if we saw AESIR EU lose this one, because it's what makes it so exciting is just the fact that AESIR doesn't really lose. That's not something that they do. Their NA team doesn't lose ever. They haven't lost since Season 1, a very, very long time ago. And their EU counterpart, as we saw, has that 8-0 record. They played really well in Season 2, and they're going to be hungry and eager to come back in Season 3 after they were taken out of the Season 2 postseason early by Ragnarok. Mr. Tabs looking to push up on Adam here, and they're getting droned, and Adam pushes way too deep there. Radmal, however, oh my goodness, it was a bait, and Dissender catches one through the wall. The Vezin is down. Mr. Tabs throwing a frag in, and they're going to look to continue playing aggressive on the door. I wonder if anybody's going to fall for those trip mines. Maybe they're just going to get a little too excited. There's an incendiary toss, and it's going to block off some of the angle and prevent AESIR from pushing in here. And I wonder if Terrence may find a kill through this wall. Only 1 minute and 35 seconds on the clock for AESIR to make their move. And we do see a disconnect there. And Terrence looks to catch a kill, but it doesn't quite happen. Ran6 drops a second. They're going to look for a third. Hasn't happened yet so far. Mike D10 is going to find one in response, and you can hear the trip mines. Dissender finds a kill on the rise. Ran6 don't do it. And they almost run right into some trip mines. But it is now a 1 versus 2. Mike D10 has done an excellent job of working down the board, and Dissender caught a cheeky pick of their own. Mike D10 goes down to Ran6. Great reaction time. Oh my goodness. Absolute brutality from Ran6. Let's take a look at that flick again. Whew. Tremendous shot there as AESIR EU. Uh-oh, they picked up around here, and we might start to see SR fall off a little bit in momentum. Unless we see like we get deja vu to Hideout, and maybe we see a 5-1 curse from SR this summer. Ooh, I don't know. And we do see plenty of eco in the hands of AESIR now. 5 Vezins in their possession. And only 2 comparatively for SunsetRavens. So this is going to be the big challenge here. If AESIR EU loses some players early in the round and they get those Vezins picked up by SR, this could quickly turn against them very, very fast. But we'll see if that happens or not. Terrence is not going to go and push out downstairs again. And that's smart. You don't want to try and do the same thing over and over again, because eventually your opponent is going to quickly catch on and set up to defend against that. And so Ran6 is now playing far away in anticipation of somebody playing an aggressive roam outside and going for a run out. And unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to make use of that 5th player on AESIR EU, because they're just hung up on the outside of the building. But a minute 55 on the clock. Terrence has caught some damage. There goes the wall opened up, and Gradma is caught by Dissender. And that drops the EMP as well, but Mr. Tabs pushes in, catches a refrag. And it's going to look to recover that EMP and may potentially try and go for that plant. They recover the Vezin, throw it off to the side. Here comes a frag. It doesn't really go where they wanted to. A minute and a half on the clock right now. Adam picks up quite a bit of damage from the back of the room. Mr. Tabs finding the kill onto Mac. And they're playing an aggressive angle in the kitchen. And Adam just cannot support their teammate there because Rand 6 and VRML providing excellent cover from the breach. And they're in a bit of trouble here. Dissenter does manage to find the kill on the Mr. Tabs. Rand 6 is low. They're playing two angles at once. Mike D10 finds the kill on a VRML. And it is a 2 versus 2. Now a 1 versus 2. It's just down to Dissenter. The EMP has not been planted yet, but Dissenter is down to 4 health and has to deal with both Rise and Rand 6. They go for the rotation, but Rand 6 was anticipating that, holding a very nice pixel peek. And AESIR EU hold down their game and secure the 2-2 tie here at the start of the game. So it's all going to be about who can find the momentum off of this round. The team that wins this will have the opportunity to push for a 4-2 lead. And the team that loses will have to be content with a 3-3 tie heading into the second half, which is a worst case scenario, but well, you want to go ahead with a lead. And who will walk away with momentum here in this matchup? We're about to find out. Breaching from sets on the storage hatch, and here comes the drone. AESIR EU are going to look for some intel, and they only have one Vezin up this round. A second drone tossed in, going to try and find anybody who's playing an aggressive angle, and it's actually going to spot Dissender, but Mac might be prepared to reinforce their teammate here. Rise drops in now. Mac holding the corner still. Hopefully their foot doesn't go through the wall. Uh-oh. We might see Rise spring here on Mac, and they will. They find that pick. They're going to look for the second on the Dissender. He's currently playing on the kitchen, or excuse me, the locker room sink, and they find Gradma before getting, they find Rise before getting refragged by Gradma. And it's a 4 versus 3. There goes one wall into Cubby. Ensign toss in response. Mr. Tabs in the back of Blue Vendings catches quite a bit of damage. Incendiary's toss. Gradma finds Adam. And we're now down to just one. Well, we always had one Vezin on SR, but we're now just down to Terrence, who's going to have to look for another pick. There's the EMP. It's just been planted. And Terrence, where are you going? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rand 6 almost found that kill. And he's just going to stay back inside as Terrence runs away and is going to burn out the EMP to give the lead to AESIR EU. And it was a good attempt, but they only found one pick, so you can't really call it a successful eco round from SunsetRavens. But if nothing else, they do keep their Vezin player alive and kicking. Rand 6 is slowly clearing out angles here in assembly, and they're going to look for Terrence, maybe try and find the pick. But Terrence is not going to bite, and they're going to stay down in the safety of their little room here. You can hear AESIR looking for them, but it just didn't work out for them that time. It's the halftime round here on map number 2. And SunsetRavens are down by 1. Their best case scenario right now is to go for that 3-3 tie into the second half. And AESIR, well, they're going to look to make it a 4-2 lead. Either one is an option, and it could set up one of these teams for a successful second half. Now, bear in mind that SR had a much better offense than they did defense on Hideout. So they could also have a good offense here on Factory. In any case, we'll find out. They've secured at the very least 2 rounds. So if they are banking on having a good offense and keeping this and taking this map off of that, there's opportunity because they've already found 2 rounds, but a third would certainly not be unappreciated. There's a frag toss in, and it catches a lot of damage onto Mike, and they do recover the heal from Dissender, tossing that back. Good team play here. Flash toss in. Surprisingly, that didn't catch Mike D10, but they are caught in the smoke, and VRML is going to catch quite a bit of damage onto them, and Mike goes down to an S-tier frag from Mr. Frags. Sitting in the back there, Terrence number 1 does manage to take out VRML, and again, they're just picking apart that AESIR EU offense. Very nice roam play from Terrence. They just managed to really make themselves a massive pain to deal with for AESIR, but we do see Adam is just caught in the line of fire there. Terrence pushing upstairs. They get taken out by Ran 6. Not able to secure the kill that they wanted to. Look at the lean here from Dissender. And unfortunately, we may not see for SunsetRavens here. We may not see them pick up this round. Because AESIR EU has just played this very, very well. Not getting rattled, but they do lose Ran 6. And Mr. Tabs closing out the round, making a 4-2 lead for AESIR. And again, tremendous effort from this AESIR team. They really bounced back here. They got a nice lead. They started off 2 rounds down to SunsetRavens. Now it's going to be up to them to break that little curse that they've had where SunsetRavens has a really good offense. So we'll see. We could have this upset end here on map number 2. I think what's likely going to happen is we're going to see a map number 3. Into the pistol round of the second half of this game. SunsetRavens on the roof right now, and there goes the drone. Into the blue vendings. Just going to get some intel here on Mr. Tabs and Ran 6, and SunsetRavens prepped and ready to push Site A. Mr. Tabs picks up quite a bit of damage, and here comes the double drop into storage from SR. With a minute 55 on the clock right now. Rise holding the back of the room. This is VRML pushing up. And Mac going down to Gradmon. Not a good start for SR here. Ran 6 finds one. And I think Ace is starting to return to their form here. Dissenter does take out Mr. Tabs, making it a 4-3. But there's a lot of work here to do, and Terrence is about to push alone. They do manage to catch one. But SR are still in a lot of trouble here. VRML goes down to Adam. It's now a 2 versus 2, excuse me. As it does look like They may try and push site B here. Adam and Dissender. Oh no, they're heading back to site A. Rand 6 is low. Do we see the team support here? Rand 6 is going for the gunfire, and it doesn't happen, and it's now just down to Rise. Who's going to push, and they do find one onto Adam, tapping that EMP. And it's now just down to Dissender. Oh, and they catch Rise. Oh my goodness, what a round there for SR, and it looked like it might go to AESIR for a while there, but excellent work playing for picks from SunsetRavens. They're not out of this yet, and an early pistol round is going to be very, very helpful for their second half here. You're seeing 3-2 Vezins coming out here in the second round. I'd like to keep it at that level. I think the general rule of thumb is you don't buy more than 2 Vezins, and you keep those Vezin players alive and safe, and you have somebody nearby them to pick up that Vezin in the off chance that they do go down. But it does happen. You have got to protect your rifles here. How did SR win Hideout? 5-1 curse? Yeah. They played a very, very nice offense on Hideout. And they had a good start to their offensive round here, or to their offensive half. And not just one round off of tying this up against AESIR. Frag grenade tossed, and Rand 6 super ecoing along with Gradmon. We do have Body Xavier. As Adam might catch VRML. No, VRML. Oh my goodness. What a double kill there. They almost tear through the entire SR offense. Rand 6 picking them apart. Both rifles, one rifle is down. Oh my goodness, this is very bad. Where did it all go wrong? And Mike D10's back is completely exposed to Grandma. They flip around. Oh no, they're going to lose their rifles. Oh no. How did it end this way? Oh wow, what a round there. That's gotta sting for SR. They lose 2 Vezins and Util before they can even get in the building. VRML, really the MVP of that round, I would say, tearing through those players with the Omen, and again making use of its incredible ability to burst people down. Wow. That's got to be frustrating for SR, but if you're AESIR EU, you're on top of the world right now. That is their chance to bounce back here. They stay ahead 5-3. Now, SR had the ability to lose a round before because they did go 4-2 in the second half, but if they lose this round, in which they are ecoing, or at least some of their players are, well, we are going to have a guaranteed map 3. So we started with round number 9. SR can no longer lose any of these rounds. Gradma, here's the window open to their left, and there goes the storage hatch. VRML hanging out in lockers once again, as the push is mainly coming from blue Vendates. And SR is going to want to take control over Tetris, or Blue Hollow, whichever you like to call it. So they don't have to worry about somebody contesting that angle and ripping apart their push. Minute 40 on the clock now. All 5 SR players are over in blue Vendates. They have not split the push. Here goes the wall. It's been opened up. A minute 30 on the clock, and A-tier frag. But a fantastic lineup there from Dissender. If somebody was tucking in that corner, which people do, would have absolutely caught that pick. But a minute 15 on the clock, and we're seeing SR burning a lot of time here. This is making me a little bit worried for this team. Mr. Tabs finds Mike D10. First pick is given up. Terrence looking for one. Dissenter does manage to find Rise, making use of that Vezin, but Mr. Tabs bouncing back with a kill on a Mac, and Dissenter's alone. They drop that rifle, and there's just no hope here for SR, and AESIR EU takes match point here on map number 2. We are going to see a third map in this series. And that's gotta hurt for SR because they had the opportunity in their hands to keep AESIR down, and they could afford to lose one round, but that was not the round that they wanted to lose. And it just gave AESIR so much money to work with, and they managed to stay in this game thanks to the absolute clutch from VRML there in round number 9. The infamous round 9. Completely turning an eco round into a win. And here we go, into round number 10 of map number 2. And SR makes entry upstairs into Orange Vending's drone. Scouting out, looking for any kind of roamer upstairs. Mac prepping the foam on that hatch, and both teams have done a very great job on this map. I've really enjoyed watching the gameplay from both sides, but AESIR EU need one round to take us to that third map with a win. Now, best case scenario for SR is now winning 3 rounds back-to-back and tying it up. And at the very least, on map number 3, they would need to secure 6 rounds. But Adam, oh my goodness, not what you want to do. And it's just a little bit of feeding there. And look at the double stack here from AESIR EU. They're the only team who I've seen consistently do this strategy. Mr. Tabs, I mean, it's just a firing squad in there. No one can stop them. Except for Dissender, who does manage to shut down Mr. Tabs. But with only a minute 15 on the clock, is this it for SunsetRavens? Dissender is going to have to pull off a heck of a clutch here. They're going to have to pull off an ace clutch in order to call this round a win against AESIR EU. Prepped and ready to drop, and they do, and Rise may catch this kill, and they do. 7-3 game from AESIR EU. What a way to bounce back, you know? It was tough. It was a tough first game for AESIR, losing Hideout, and I think there would be a lot of teams that would just collapse and have that bad mental for the rest of the series, but not AESIR. They came back and they conquered this SR team with a fantastic win here on map number 2. So now it's anyone's game for map number 3. And it could still be a tied series, depending on how this third map goes. But we'll see if AESIR EU can hold on to this momentum that they had and take map number 3. They've had that return to form. You know, they took that second map. 7-3, you know, they lost 2 starter rounds, but after that was the only round they lost after those original 2 was the pistol round heading into the second half. But tremendous effort from these teams so far. We may have another timeout. We do have another timeout. So while the teams get prepared for our third and final matchup, don't go away, because we will once again be right back.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna turn around, dance, 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 dance. I just wanna clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, turn around, dance.
J like the letter, I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made it splash, now all of my passes last like running a race with Usain. I keep it coming like this is buffet. And if I'm stumbling, I'm in the graves. Never gon' fumble it, I get the bag and I run with it. Gunning it, gunning it, gunning it, gunning it. Murray with the legs, all about finesse, I am not impressed. I don't need a rest, coming in with less, then you see the flags. Elohim with the melody, and then he supply the bread. 70, keep it heavenly, everybody get the bread.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello? Mom, not right now. I'm gaming with the boys, okay? I'll call you later.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna turn around, dance, 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 dance. I just wanna clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, turn around, dance.
J like the letter, I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made it splash, now all of my passes last like running a race with Usain. I keep it coming like this is buffet. And if I'm stumbling, I'm in the graves. Never gon' fumble it, I get the bag and I run with it. Gunning it, gunning it, gunning it, gunning it. Murray with the legs, all about finesse, I am not impressed. I don't need a rest, coming in with less, then you see the flags. Elohim with the melody, and then he supply the bread. 70, keep it heavenly, everybody get the bread.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hope you're still here and excited for the conclusion to what has been a fantastic matchup between AESIR EU and SunsetRavens. If you're just joining us, Map 1, beginning almost 2 hours ago, went almost to AESIR EU, but an incredible turnaround from SunsetRavens got them map number 1, which is Hideout, and map number 2, Factory. Started off again in momentum of SunsetRavens, but we did see AESIR EU show a dominant force in the second half of that game that, well, SunsetRavens just weren't able to come back from. And so now we enter into map number 3, which is going to be Dam. As we get ready, the teams return to the lobby. Let's take a look at the statistics here, and it's the best performing map of AESIR EU. They're breaking out the big guns here. They've played 24 rounds, and they've won 88% of those rounds. They clearly understand what they're doing. What concerns me a little bit is that SunsetRavens do not have Dam at all on their map, so that means that they have not played it. So I wonder, are they unfamiliar with this map? Is this going to be a bit of a dangerous pick for SunsetRavens, or can they potentially adapt and turn this map into a win and potentially a series win against AESIR EU? In any case, we're going to go ahead and get started on the third and final map of this series. We're heading to Dam. And for our final time, we enter a map in this series between AESIR EU and SunsetRavens, and AESIR taking the defense, SunsetRavens on the offense. Dam is thought to be a defender-sided map, so I think we're going to have to see AESIR EU come out of the gate swinging if they want to have a good chance at bringing this map home as well. We're seeing Spectrals across the board, except for the Cyclone from Adam. Which, shout out to Adam. I also do like to use the Cyclone on my starting rounds as well. But in any case, here we go. Starting off Dam, round number 1, map number 3 in the series. Adam and Mac taking a look outside of security, and the drone moving in, clearing out the angles, and making some room here for AESIR to push in and get a push established and going. Ran 6 in the back of the red hallway along with Rise, and they're going to look to hold down that angle, potentially play the range game against Adam here. And if you're Adam, that's a tricky angle to play, especially with that Cyclone, but they do catch some damage. And meanwhile, Terrence was downstairs. They found Gradma. Now the rest of the AESIR push is making its way through the red hallway. Dissender dropping down the hatch now, preparing to move with the rest of their team. If I had to make a guess, it's probably going to be a push onto server here, Site A. But Site B is not out of the question yet. Ran 6 caught Adam, but got refragged by Dissender, and Dissender now down to 2 health. Here comes the breach. That's one wall open. We do not see SunsetRavens looking to take space in the red hallway yet. Mike D10 has that EMP, but they're pushing up and they're alone. Only a minute on the clock. It's a 4 versus 3. The numbers advantage is in favor of SunsetRavens. Mike D10 picking up some hits, though. And it's fragmented here, and that could come back to haunt SunsetRavens. VRML, Mr. Tabs holding down the fort over here on Site A. Rise keeping an eye on Site B. 40 seconds as Dissender now decides to rotate along with their team. And Terrence brings it up through Lounge to make it a 4 versus 2 as Rise is still holding down Site B. There goes the wall. It's been opened up. Only 25 seconds left on the clock. SR has to make a move. They lose one player, but Dissender manages to catch Zaida in the fire. Here comes the frag grenade, and Mike D10 goes down to Mr. Tabs, who drops a double kill, and it's now just down to Dissender. Where did it all go wrong for SR there? They just lost too many of their players, and you're looking at the MVP of the round here, Mr. Tabs, who really made that look easy, despite the, well, trials and tribulations they had to face there. It was essentially a 2 versus 4 on that site for a little bit there. SunsetRavens is inconsistent. They're doing very well against AESIR. They got 14-7 against Berserk, and Berserk just lost AESIR. Yeah, that is the That is a trend that we have seen with SunsetRavens where, they play very well against certain teams and then they get to other teams and it just doesn't quite go the way I think they want it to. And they've certainly put in a very nice performance here against AESIR. But they did lose map 2. And crucially, they lost the pistol round as well. And 2 Vezins now fall in the hands of AESIR EU. And remember, this is AESIR's best performing map. Ran 6 playing aggressive at the box. May catch a pick here onto Mac. They pick up a little bit of damage in response. But here comes the breach from the other side. And Ran 6 could get caught out here. Mr. Tabs is watching the flank. But Ran 6 is taken out by Adam. And that's the risky part of playing that particular angle. If you're Ran 6, you can easily be pinched from the other side of the hallway, and if that happens, there isn't a whole lot you can do. Mac and Adam pushing up over to box now and looking to get that wall opened as SunsetRavens prepare to move to Site A. I wonder what the map bans were. Probably Skyscraper and Arctic. Since those are 2 maps we have not played on yet so far. Mr. Tabs picks up some damage from the fire. They do manage to get that heal off. Rise finding that kill, and here comes Mr. Tabs looking to push, and they find Adam. They're looking for a second, and VRML finds Tissender, and Terrence is alone, and they're getting chased, and Mr. Tabs not relenting at all. And very, very well played there. Look at the chase from Mr. Tabs. Terrence tried to get away, but even if they made it away from Mr. Tabs, it was only a matter of time before they ran into the door blocker and got caught out. And AESIR, with a strong start to this game, 2 rounds in their pocket. And here come the Vezins from both sides. 4, actually. Both teams picking up 4 Vezins. And that's going to be interesting. We'll see who takes the momentum here. Currently, AESIR EU looking a little bit more favorable. They picked up the first 2 rounds. But now SR have Vezins. They've had an opportunity to bounce back a little bit, and Rand is going to have to be very careful about the way that they play this. Because Terrence number 1 has got a pretty strong angle there. They were jiggling the door. And they might pick up a headshot here, unless Rand 6 goes for a jiggle of their own. That got very close to Terrence's head. Terrence is going to continue to hold that angle, and Dissender finds Gradma upstairs. Rand 6 caught some damage onto Terrence, but that's going to scare them away from that angle a little bit. Rand 6 may get a little greedy here, as Mac now tries their hand at the angle, but nobody walks away from that exchange with a kill. 1.5 minutes on the clock as SR taking their time with the push. There's still plenty of chances for them to make a play here. Attack one of these sites. If I had to make a guess, though, I think it's probably going to be Site B. We might see a very window-heavy push here. As Dissender, Mike, and Adam all upstairs. Mac looks to make their way in, and Terrence goes down to Mr. Tabs. Quickly corrects over to the other side and catches a double kill. Very well played, and here comes the drop, but oh no, Rise caught Adam. Mike is looking to get that EMP planted, and it's just down to Dissender and Mike. And Mike gets it, but they get caught out, and it's now just down to Dissender. He tosses that incendiary. Ah, no, it doesn't go where they want it to, and Rise is going to stick it. Pros don't fake. 2 charges done. Oh, sorry, 1 charge done. 2 charges done. Rise is going for 3. They make it, and the EMP is defused. Dissender unable to make that play work, and again, it was a fragmented push from SunsetRavens, and AESIR are capitalizing off of these mistakes and quickly turning this game back in their favor. And if you're still watching, shout out to everybody watching. Skullboy, Jacob, a person, Flix, Dino, Akira. Glad to see everybody out here showing support, and this is just a great game to watch. So I'm glad everybody else got to experience this with me as well. I do love to see the EU side of this league. I wish we could get some more games casted, but we do what we can. I'll have to look at some EU casting applications and see if we can get the EU casted on the regular, just like NA. But speaking of NA, I believe Nightfire will be casting the Restart versus Reload game tomorrow at 9 o'clock EST, if you're interested in that game. Ran 6 almost goes down, but they catch Mac off of that exchange. However, they are left down to 11 health. Now, Mr. Tabs, I think, does get that heal off, and Adam, holding a pretty spicy angle here on the box, is going to look for an AESIR EU player who gets a little greedy, but they do have an Omen, so they might not be able to secure that pick fast enough. Less than 2 minutes on the clock. Again, plenty of time for SR to make a move here. The door blocker is up. That's going to prevent a rotation here. And Adam does get the foam on the wall. And SunsetRavens have slowly been watching this series slip out of their fingers. Mike D10 is drilling the door blocker. And interesting play there from Gradmos. The door blocker does go down. They burn Mike D10 a little bit with the fire. And Gradma might catch this pick here. Oh, they almost catch it, but Mike D10. Oh, no, Gradma did catch it. And it's now a 2 versus 5. It's down to Adam and Terrence number 1. Adam does find Mr. Tabs. He's going to look, maybe double dip here a little bit, which could come back to haunt them. Excuse me, this is Adam over here. Terrence is over on the other side of the map. Terrence does catch 1. Terrence catching 2. But Ran 6 finds the kill onto Adam, and it's now just down to Terrence number 1. They caught some picks in this round, but Gradma was there, and they were prepared to make it a 4-0 game. With SR now under threat of being locked out in the first half. And I think this is really, you know, where we probably should have seen a ban on Dam. Because Dam's a pretty unique map to play. It's so open in some spots and hard to keep track of all of your angles. It takes a pretty coordinated team to play both offense and defense here, and SunsetRavens have just been struggling to find any kind of pace on their offensive half. And with a 4-0 game, could AESIR EU shut out SunsetRavens after such a close first map that went in favor of SR? Is this potentially curtains for SunsetRavens on this map? We'll find out soon enough. We just haven't seen the response here from SunsetRavens that we need to. VRML hanging out in bathroom, getting ready for a push from SR. Unbeknownst to them, the entire team is right on the other side of that wall. And there goes the push over into generator. Smoke is tossed out, concealing the vision. Adam looks to push in, but they're caught immediately by Ran 6. Mac picks up quite a bit of damage as VRML is still over in bathroom, waiting for someone to try and make a push there. Terrence down to 2 health as Mr. Tabs finds Dissender, cutting off the flank. And it is now a 3 versus 5 with 1:45 on the clock. And Rise playing an aggressive angle here. Wonder if Mike D10. Ooh, Rise just barely misses Mike there. Mr. Tabs. Hanging in the back by metal detector, and Mike D10 may find the pick here. They're just missing each other. Oh my goodness, Mr. Tabs, you didn't have to do that. What a fantastic play. Whoops, wrong replay button. But it's okay. No action has happened just yet, but it is a 2 versus 5, and has the mental gone off for SunsetRavens? I mean, looks like they are going to go ahead and save and try their luck on the halftime round and maybe go and try and afford as many Vezins as possible, but they're heading over to the corner and admiring the pretty scenery. This is definitely visually, I think, my favorite map on Breachers. Love the the design of it and the water here. Absolutely gorgeous landscape. We'll do like a little. We can do like a little cinematic here. Turn off the HUD. Take a nice little tour on the outside. But enough of that. We do have round 5 expiring, and AESIR EU make it a 5-0 game. Trouble mounting for SunsetRavens as they are under threat of, well, getting locked out of the first half. There's not a worse fear, I imagine. Appreciate the subscribe, Jay McCullough. Hopefully I said your name right. But what a bounce back we've seen here from AESIR. It started on Factory and it hasn't stopped. And SunsetRavens, you know, they put up a great game. They haven't been an easy team for AESIR to beat. At least on Factory and on Hideout, but if we're looking at a team that's in control of this series, or of this map, it's going to be AESIR. I mean, not losing around so far, and you're keeping everybody alive at pretty much every point in this round. Rain 6 once again playing aggressive on the box, but they are shut down this time by Mac. And that's the thing. You know, you play a little too aggressive here, and Adam finds Rise. And that's 2 picks down. Has AESIR just gotten a little bit too big for their britches here? Have they overcommitted and lost some players early on? A first half lockout would be nice. And I just wonder if maybe they misplayed a little bit here. And this could potentially leave the door open for SunsetRavens. Terrence is looking away for a moment. And VRML tries to play that. And they now realize that somebody's out that door, and Terrence routed off of the flank watch for but a moment. And the wall has been opened over Insight. A smoke is tossed as Mike D10, Adam, getting ready to push in through the breach along with Mac. Here comes Mac. They're looking to get that EMP planted. VRML finding the kill on Dissender in a 3 versus 4. Mike still going for that plant. It hasn't gone down yet. Another incendiary toss. Oh no, it went into the roof. And Mac finds the kill onto VRML. Mr. Tabs. It's just too many angles to watch at the moment. The EMP is down, and good holding here from SunsetRavens. Could make this a 5-1 game, in which case, oh, Mr. Tabs finds one, and they're going to push. They're going to look for another. Oh my goodness, but Terrence number 1 on the flank finds that kill and gives SunsetRavens their first round. Is anybody else having deja vu? to maybe a map called Hideout when AESIR picked up 5 rounds and then headed into the second half, and SunsetRavens, they kind of came back and turned the whole thing around and turned that into a map win. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying, we that's confirmed. But maybe, I don't know. We'll see. The door's open. I'll leave it at that. There's potential here for SunsetRavens to turn this game around. They're going to have to play perfectly. That's the thing. They've already done that once on Hideout with an incredible clutch turnaround against AESIR EU. But, when you get to that 5-1, there's not a whole lot of options here for you. You can't lose a round. If you want to win the map, and if SunsetRavens wants to win this series, they cannot lose a single round from this point. They're going to have to win 6 rounds back-to-back to win, 5 to tie the series. It's a tall order no matter which way you slice it. And Mr. Tabs has pushed in and is looking for Mac, and they catch Mac. But they don't get refragged. No, Mr. Tabs just doesn't care. They're going to push in and get a kill, and Terrence is going to push in, and they're going to get 2 kills of their own. VRML finding the kill on Terrence number 1. But we're down into a 2 versus 2. VRML and Mr. Tabs against Adam, who catches Mr. Tabs with the Cyclone. And I wish I could use the Cyclone as well as Adam does. But, oh my goodness, what? Since when? Since when were you able to use the Cyclone to take off somebody's head from that far away? A gun that everybody thought is, it's, medium, close range. You can't, at least that's the way I've always perceived it. And, wow. Hey, so SunsetRavens did pick up a round. They picked up 1 round. It isn't the end of the world for AESIR EU, but look at the super eco. I think they realized what trajectory this game might be heading towards. And so they're going to play this eco super safe. They may give up the round, but they're going to buy in. And here we go. Excuse me. Into round number 8. Whoops. Not the 5-1-8. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Mr. Tabs finding the kill onto Terrence. And, VRML in the midst of a horrendous fire. We'll see if they can manage to get out of that. But here we go. Into round number 8. The Vezin player is still alive in the back of Site A. That's Adam. We've already seen AESIR take 1 eco round away from SunsetRavens, where on Factory, round number 9, the infamous round number 9, where they took away 2 Vezins and completely robbed the round from SunsetRavens. So I have confidence that AESIR could do it again if somebody lets them. Mike D10 might get caught out here. They do get caught out, and they're just pushing a little bit too much here. And even if Adam is alive, Dissender catching Ran 6. That's what SR needs to see. They have got to get control of this game. Adam is going to push out. Even if you have that Vezin, it doesn't mean you're guaranteed a win. And Adam drops the Vezin. Mac goes down. The Vezin is down. And it's now just down to Dissender. And a 1v3, Mr. Tabs cannot be stopped. Just playing a point-and-click adventure with that Taurus, clicking on the heads of their opponents. And the 5-1 curse, just like that, has been broken by AESIR EU. They make their own fates on this team. So, the door is now shut on SunsetRavens for a series win. Time to look at the end game here. What is the next best scenario? That's to tie the series. Both teams have taken a map, so the opportunity is still on the table for SR. They need to win 4 rounds in a row if they want to get this win. Or excuse me, this tie against AESIR, which wouldn't be the end of the world for either team, but I think AESIR would not be satisfied with that. They've purchased 5 Vezins. There's 4 Vezins on SR, but not a whole lot of utility. Actually, no grenades, no incendiaries at all. No smokes, no kind of utility like that. And I wonder if that is going to come back to haunt SunsetRavens here. We've seen a big, increase in utility from these defensive, or from any team in the upper echelon of breachers. And grenades and all sorts of utility are very, very useful for setting up a push. And so when you see a team not using those, it does concern me a little bit. Util is very, very useful if used right, but I think SR just confident enough in their gun skills here, and Gradma almost found Mike D10. I was waiting for the pick to happen there. Getting ready to push him, but look at the lean from Dissender. That is a tough angle to contest, as Ran6 finds the kill on a Mac. Dissender in just a moment is forced out of that angle, and Ran6 defending their teammate. Meanwhile, Mike D10 catching one with the Cadillo, and it is now just down to Terrence in a 1 versus 3. The EMP has been planted. VR Zida has to go down, Rise has to go down, Gradma has to go down, and the EMP has to be defused. That's a long list of tasks for Terrence to do. And they're going for the kill, and it doesn't happen! And AESIR stay at the top of the leaderboard, and they stay undefeated once again in this Season 3 of Breachers VRML. And in a dominant show of fashion, they break the 5-1 curse, and they take SunsetRavens out of this series. And there it is. The win for AESIR EU. Hard work and harder. What am I looking for? Yeah, we'll just say they worked hard. But it was a long battle. Well over 2 hours and 14 minutes. So it took a while for AESIR EU here, and I think what the key takeaway here is never write off a team so early. There were a lot of people in the chat that were saying SunsetRavens is cooked. They're going to lose this matchup. I already know what the result of this is going to be. And granted, AESIR did win, but it was not anywhere near as easy as I think anybody thought it would be. And so that is just the little lesson there. I mean, you can put confidence in AESIR, but don't doubt the power of a team like SunsetRavens. But in the end, their power just wasn't enough today. It couldn't compare to AESIR, and they may have lost map 1, but that really lit a fire under this AESIR team. They took that 10-minute timeout and really kind of figured out what they needed to do, locked in, and even though they gave up 2 rounds on Factory, they proved that they have what it takes to take on SunsetRavens and win this game. So congratulations to AESIR, and thank you all for tuning in and joining me for this matchup. It was a lot of fun. I always have fun, like I said, heading over to the EU side of the league. And we do appreciate all of you for joining us. And tomorrow, again, we will have a matchup, Restart versus Reload, hosted by, that is tomorrow. And that will happen at 9 p.m. EST. So for now, that is going to do it for us over here at the Breachers VRML. I am Gibular Bob, and I will see you all in the next cast. Have a fantastic rest of your night, everybody.
Reacher's VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.